Welcome, everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is February 7th, episode 129. My name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
And how's your week been, man?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Survived the insanity of the Super Bowl at my pizza job, so that was nice.
Yeah, man, I was thinking about you during the Super Bowl.
Well,
getting ready for the Super Bowl, I was like, man.
Well, because the thing with that is, and I don't know how it is anywhere else, but it's always been the same here. Every timed order, every single one of them, people will place that day or the night before for 5:30. Every single one of them, which is insane to me. It never matters what time the game starts. They are all 5:30. It's insane.
That's odd.
And so from there up until usually about second quarter, maybe about halfway through the second quarter, we're rocking. And then between there and the start of halftime, at some point in there, it just craters. Just absolutely nothing. And it'll probably be like that for the rest of the night, usually.
Yeah.
So we're crazy throughout the day getting ready, and we do all of our business in like an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
More or less. And but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad this year. It was...
That's good.
Oddly, it was busier than it was last year, which I thought was a little strange, because nobody really cared this year.
Right, yeah.
Which was a bummer, because it was like, I had no dog in this fight at all, but damn, it was a good game.
Yeah, it was really good. I was shocked at how good it was. I think a lot of people expected the Patriots to blow them out.
Yeah.
You know, you got Foles being a backup quarterback and everything, but man, Philly really fought them tooth and nail.
I got to the point where, because I actually got home with like 7 minutes to go in the second.
Oh, wow.
Because I was out of there at 7:30.
Yeah, so you saw most of the game.
So I did. I got to see most of it, and by about the fourth, I was just my hatred of the Patriots overtook my intense dislike of the wider Eagles fandom at large.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know what, screw it, I don't care, let him be happy, I just want to see sad Tom Brady, and I was not disappointed.
No. Oh yeah, I was so happy it ended the way it did, and it was such a close game, and to see Nick catches, for him to do the same play that Tom Brady did and succeed at it and get a touchdown.
And it was the same play that he did. He used to run that play in high school.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
There's been a lot of stuff come out about it. Like, oh yeah, that was a play, and there's video of other lineups from his high school that have run it. It's the exact same play.
Oh wow.
From almost the same spot near the end zone and everything. Like, yeah, it's crazy. It's a play that they do, and apparently they let him call it. He was like, "No, guy, I know what we can do here," and they let him do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, man, they definitely took chances.
Well, they had to. I'm telling you what, what's the Philly coach's name? I can't remember.
Oh, I'm not sure.
But I'm telling you what, I would hate. He must go through a bottle of polish for those
Doug
things.
Peterson.
Like, I mean, they're like, that's the brass on him. That's insane. But that's what you got to do, not just because it's a Super Bowl, but because it's the Patriots.
Yeah, you got to throw everything, including the kitchen sink at them.
And they threw a couple kitchen sinks at him.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that was fun to watch. That was a blast. I really enjoyed it. And there was that Super Bowl, like, there was a lot of announcements during it.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see any of the trailers did you catch any of the trailers?
I caught a couple as they happened, and then I went and watched, like, I didn't see the Mission Impossible one until later. I I think there were a couple like that. I didn't see the Solo one, but I was, because it was a little. I think it was before I got back, which was fine by me because I knew the whole trailer was coming out before I woke up Monday anyway. So I was like,
It's like different. I can't. I haven't watched them back to back, but I think the first one is very different from the second.
okay, well then I'll go back and check it out.
Yeah. There's like different. I don't know. It's very differently edited, I think.
Okay, so the spot isn't just clips from the trailer that they cut together.
Don't think so because it doesn't even show Han really until the very end. He's like in a jail cell. I don't know. There's a lot more in the second one. The second one's definitely the better one. What'd you think of it? What'd you think of the Solo trailer?
I liked it.
Yeah, it was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because I didn't know what to expect.
I thought it would be, because we heard rumors that people were comparing his him to like Jim Carrey, and like the jokes weren't landing, and then they had to go in and redo a lot of stuff, and I didn't get that vibe at all from any of the stuff. You could tell like during the end of the trailer when he's like, everything's fine, it's fine. I mean, he's kind of doing his line from A New Hope.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine here. We're all fine here. Just a slight weapons malfunction. How are you? Like, it's just, yeah.
I didn't get a Jim Carrey vibe or anything like that, and the tone is definitely dark, and I kind of got more of like a Rogue One tone. It felt like, but. Yeah, I liked it, man. I thought it was great. I think we got a glimpse of what is it, Corellian, or what's his home planet?
Yes, I guess Corellia, because he's not Corellian.
He is.
No, I thought the Falcon was a Corellian freighter.
He was. Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Hold on. Yeah. No, I think they have to do with each other, but
okay.
He is human. He's born on Corellia. Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't know if I was pronouncing it correctly.
But
I think we saw him like in the car at the beginning where he's like, I used to run these streets or whatever.
Yeah, but I've been running game on these streets since I was a kid or 5 or whatever it was he said. I thought, okay, so he's a hustler from the start. That makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of gave me the Star Trek vibes when we first run into Kurt.
Yeah, a little bit there.
A little bit. But that's okay, because I kind of got the feeling they were doing that with Kurt in the, with JJ in that movie. But,
yeah, the difference being, though, the whole thing for Star Trek was how do we make an honest man out of
right.
James Kirk. This is not going to be that.
Right. Yeah.
And it was so weird seeing the Falcon with a new interior.
Oh yeah, with the white, white.
Like you can just imagine like, oh, it's that new starship smell. Like
exactly.
It's like I can't. That's that's gonna be weird.
Yeah, and we see it go from that to what it looks like in episode 4, where it's used, it is worn. There's a pizza stain on the side, and then you go up all the way to where it's at now, and you got porgs living in it, and everything else. It's interesting. Yeah, it's definitely it's cool. I'm excited. I'm way more excited about it now than I was before I saw the trailer.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't want to see any more. I hope that's it. I hope they pack it up, which we know is not going to be the case. They're going to have like a documentary trailer. They're going to have all sorts of different shit before the movie. But it's in a few months, dude.
It's in 3 months and change a little bit.
Yeah, I was looking at the schedule that's coming out in that month, and it's insane.
Oh God, March! Look, from this week on, it's just hell.
Yeah.
Because, there is something big almost every week. 50 Shades is this week. Black Panther is next week. I don't know what the next couple weeks are, but I know there's something else before Ready Player One, which is in a little over a month.
Right.
It's insane.
Yeah. I haven't been using my movie pass the last few weeks, but it's going to get worn out for those months.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Oh, yeah. but I thought it was good. Donald Glover looked just like Lando.
Yeah.
He had his big old coat on, and oh man, I can't wait to see how all that ties in. And the droids look badass. It looks like Lando has an awesome looking droid. Yeah, it just looks cool. Just looks awesome. I like how he's a cadet or something like that, and looks like he's getting kicked out, or it doesn't, it's not. And that's kind of canon to what his story is, or what was in the extended universe, was that he wanted to be a pilot, or he was a pilot. He rescued Chewie and stuff like that. So
yeah,
looks like they're keeping to that, which is dope. But yeah, man, I thought it was great. Did you see any other trailers?
Whatever. I think I watched. Where is I've got the list here because I did make a point to go through and watch all of them.
Okay.
I like the little Infinity War spot that they had.
Yes.
They crammed a ton in there.
Yeah, they definitely did. Oh yeah.
But just I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I'm not excited to work it.
Yeah. No, I bet.
That's gonna be the thing this year. It was Star Wars last year. It's gonna be Infinity War this year.
Mm-hmm. Be a big one for sure.
What did you think about the new Jurassic World trailer?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I thought they showed a lot more exciting things in this one.
Good point.
At the same time, they showed a lot, but it was way more exciting than the last one. The last one, I got like the island's exploding, everything's dying, and I don't like that concept. It's not exciting to me. It's like, oh, you're killing off the island. We just got it back, and now we're getting rid of it. And I don't know, that left me with a weird feeling with the first trailer. Like, it's just going to be a movie with them, like, trying to escape the island. But I liked how this opened up, girl in her bed and the claw, and, like, this is a straight-up monster movie, and I like that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I dug it. Like, as I started watching it, I'm thinking, okay, she's having a nightmare about dinosaurs or what, and then you get to the end of it, and you go, oh, no, there was a dinosaur loose in the house.
Right.
And that's different. I mean, the closest thing to that we saw was the
T-Rex.
The T-Rex in 2 drinking out of the swimming pool.
Yeah, that's immediately what I thought of. I was like, oh, shit. And that was, to me, one of the coolest scenes from that movie that stuck with me was, T-Rex, running around the Los Angeles or wherever they were at. You know, like when he runs by Blockbuster and stuff like that, which didn't date well for Blockbuster.
No.
I wonder if 20 years from now people are like, what was that place? Were they renting videos in there? What's going on?
Hey, what was a Blockbuster? What's a video? Like,
right.
That's oh god. Well, I mean, you saw Best Buy's not going to sell CDs anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they're not going to sell because they don't sell. Nobody buys them.
That's true.
So
that's been dead for a while.
Yeah, so they're just saying, look, they're just taking up space. We're not going to stock them anymore.
Right. What store did I see? It was like Target.
Target's going to be next, yeah.
That's not paying for CDs that don't sell or something like that.
Yeah. Best Buy's just going to stop selling them altogether, and then Target's going to be next after that.
Yeah, I mean, most people nowadays, you got your iPod, you got your iPhone, you got your Android. They, I guess, assume most people have. I mean, if you have a car within the last 10 years, you have Bluetooth, right?
Yeah.
So,
hell, mine's got an aux jack and a USB port.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, and I mean, mine's 3 years old, so figure go back a couple more years even. Like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still got a CD player, which is cool, but I mean, that's definitely on the way out, for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, eventually they stopped putting 8-tracks in cars, so.
I don't think did they ever put 8-tracks in cars?
I don't know.
They did cassettes. I just don't know if they.
I've seen 8-track players in cars before.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, where you just you put it in the. I've seen like old cars, but.
I figured they just, because all I ever saw was it went from radio right to cassette. I didn't see one for 8-tracks.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely 8-tracks.
Yeah, okay. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I even saw one on, American Pawn Stars. He brought it in, his 8-track player, and all that other stuff. And they were talking about cruising down the road and listening to it and blah, 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 blah. But, yeah. Anyway, where were we? Jesus. What are we?
Trailers.
Trailers. Yeah, that's right. Mission Impossible Fallout looked pretty cool.
Yes, starring the mustache.
Starring the mustache.
Did you see that his mustache posted on Instagram?
No.
He put up a screenshot from the trailer that just of a scene that he's in where they're having a big fight in the bathroom, and captioned it as if it was his mustache writing it.
Oh wow,
it's great. I love that they've just grabbed the silliness of this and run with it. Like it's fantastic.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It looks cool. It looks like a Mission Impossible movie. It looks like Tom Cruise is a crazy person. But yeah, it's gonna be one of those movies. So that's the vibe I got. I was like, oh, there's the Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
The next one was super interesting. Now, I loved how they did this. The execution of the movie we'll talk about, but regardless of that, the way they dropped Cloverfield Paradox.
They Beyonce'd it.
They did. And I hope this becomes a yearly thing for Netflix. I hope that yearly there is a trailer during the Super Bowl that is not promoted beforehand, and they're just like, oh, it's available now after the game.
Yeah.
Like, I hope this becomes a thing because of how awesome that was. It surprised the hell out of me. I was like, oh my god, because I remember us talking about it. That the rumors and the paradox thing. It was called something else that was called like God Particle or something like that. God Particle,
yeah.
Right, but this was a huge surprise to a lot of people, and it had the arm in the trailer, and I was like, oh, this, I can't wait. I was like, now I can't wait for this game to get over with because I want to watch that. What'd you think of the trailer?
I loved it. It was a good trailer. Yeah. And then it was just to see it, and then, it's like streaming after the game. I was like, wait, what?
Right. It wasn't like a month from now or 3 months from now or... I'm used to seeing Netflix trailers, and it's like 6 months down the road. I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah, I thought that was really cool. Skyscraper. What did you think of that trailer?
It's The Rock in another action movie. Like,
yeah,
it is what it is. If this is your thing, you're gonna go see it. Like I am. If this is not your thing, you're not gonna go see it.
Yeah,
because cool. I mean, they are pretty much all going to be the same. They're gonna have different little quirks, but if it's like it stars The Rock in a big action piece and it's just him, they tend to kind of be the same movie.
Yes.
San Andreas looks like Skyscraper, kind of looks like Rampage.
Right. Without the giant lizards and gorillas.
Right.
But I like the fact that he's flawed. He has the one leg.
That was a nice touch.
Yeah, definitely. I liked that. I liked the mystery behind what that building is and like how secret it is and all that other stuff. So I'm curious about all that.
This was a movie that looked to me like The Raid meets Die Hard.
Yeah. This looks like a dumb, fun action film. I'll grab big thing of popcorn and enjoy myself.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's and the thing is these things don't try to be anything more than that. They don't put themselves up as like we're this big thing, but we're not, we're trying to be more than a bit, the Transformers movies try to do that.
Right.
Like we're these big impressive. No, you're not. First of all, you suck. But second of all, if you try to act like you're more than you are. You are not more than meets the eye. I'm sorry. You just are.
I was waiting for it.
I'm sorry. They just are what they are. And I would rather... I enjoy movies better, especially action movies, where I look at it and I go, oh yeah, there's your lead and some stuff blows up and they're going to punch a bad guy in the face and probably everybody's going to live happily ever after because that's how these movies tend to work. That's fine. I've no problem. I like those movies. Just don't try to play me. Just,
Right.
And this didn't. It's like, it's The Rock, and he's a big dude, and
he loves his family.
And some stuff goes down, and he has to rescue them, and this giant city within a huge building is on fire, and he has to defy physics and make this leap. And it's like, okay, sure, I'm in.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big, dumb action film, and hey, it's going to be good, I think.
Yeah.
How many movies does he have coming out this year?
God, I don't even know. He's got Rampage in April. He's got Skyscraper later this year. He's got another season of Ballers at some point too, I think. And God only know, I don't even know what else he's got that he's working on.
Let's see. So Jumanji came out very late last year, so technically it is still in the theaters this year, so we won't count it, but kinda. His Rampage, Skyscraper, Fighting with My Family, which is he's the producer for, I believe. Oh, he's starring in it too.
He's in it too, yeah.
He's in it, yeah. So 1, 2, 3, jeez. Almost 4. Well, 4, I guess, if you count his Baller show.
Yeah.
And
that's just what's coming out this year. Like, I mean, what else is he working on that's coming out next year? You know, what
else is Jumanji 2.
Yeah.
Pre-production is, announced is Jumanji 2, and San Andreas 2, the Janssen Directive. Pre-production is Jungle Cruise, Doc Savage, Black Adam. Announced is Big Trouble in Little China. And Suicide Squad 2 is announced.
Right. So it's gonna be Black Adam, Doc Savage, and Jungle Cruise will be the next things he's actually doing.
Right.
And then probably go from there into Suicide Squad 2, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
God damn. Dude's busy.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Not to mention he'll probably maybe make an appearance at WrestleMania. Who knows?
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yeah. I did see that he got in trouble last time, or he can't really wrestle because he got injured with John Cena.
He was not in ring shape, and he jumped right back in and tore, and I mean, when, you know, there's you work your guts out, or any little twist on that phrase you want to put, he pretty much literally wrestled his guts out, because he tore something. It was his intestine or colon or stomach or something, but tore it bad, and and early too. He worked most of that match messed up.
Oh wow!
And that's part of why it was awful. But you know, I mean, kudos to him for sticking through it. That's major league toughness. But yeah, he's not in ring shape. He's in action star shape, which is fine for that. But it's two totally different things.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I think I read or heard somewhere the insurance and all that other stuff, because of that, they're like, no, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
So it makes sense. He doesn't have to wrestle. He can be one of the guys that shows up, does a rock bottom, leaves the ring, and does his thing. He doesn't need a 15-minute segment. Don't get me wrong, but like, I think it would be hilarious if one night he just randomly showed up, ran into the ring, rock bottomed somebody, and then walked out, and that was it. Nothing said, and no one says anything. That he just shows up and leaves. How funny would that be?
That was pretty much what happened in my WWE 2K18 career.
Oh, okay.
Oh God. Oh, do you want me to tell that story?
Yeah. So he just shows up.
Well, here's what happened. As I know I mentioned it last week, for 2 months, I have been trying to win this stupid Royal Rumble.
Right.
Before I went to work a week ago, finally, I go from 1 to 30 and done. And the authorities got nothing on me. I've done it. I've won this stupid Royal Rumble, and I am finally at the end of it. And I've thrown the last guy out. I don't remember who it was. And I'm waiting for the little banner to pop up, the Royal Rumble winner or whatever it was. And I'm still wandering around the ring for a second, and then finally it fades out, and it comes back as a cutscene. And there's my character still in the ring, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to get screwed. I know somehow I'm going to get screwed, and that's going to be the whole thing. And finally, the authority has its revenge and everything. And sure enough, finally, The Rock has come back to the WWE. And number 31, and runs out, and spinebuster, people's elbow, over the top rope. And
wow.
Never in my life have I been so angry at a video game. I've been frustrated, I've been mad, but it's always been because of something I couldn't do. It's always been, oh, this level's too hard, I can't beat it, that kind of thing.
Right.
But I finally accomplished something, and it was this fantastic moment, and I was bouncing up and down. I was like, I'm going to get through the last little bit of this and save, because I got to go to work, and I'm going on a high note. And I am excited. I finally conquered this. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I was so mad. I've never been that genuinely angry at the way a video game worked before. It was great, and that it did exactly what it was supposed to do. But as soon as I got back, I thought, I'm tearing through the rest of this campaign, and I hope that it ends with me just beating the hell out of the rock.
Oh yeah. So were you able to continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was supposed to happen.
Oh, okay.
That was all scripted, because it was all cutscene. There was no control there. I was just like, oh.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Gotcha.
I was so mad. I
imagine they do a Daniel Bryan, put you in the main event.
It's better than that.
Okay.
But you kind of have to do it yourself, and if you're good enough at promos, then they'll put you in a title match at, Fastlane, I think, between the Rumble and Mania. And if you win there, then you go on and there's a little extra stuff. But that's just I don't know how it works if you take the heel route. I did the whole fan favorite deal. And
gotcha.
And it was I loved it. Like, I really got into it by the end of it. Because you just kind of go along, and it's kind of the minutia of cut promos and work the crowd and win your matches, and you just kind of feel like you're treading water. And then once you really get towards kind of the end game version of it, and you can still go on after that, like, it doesn't stop at WrestleMania. You can continue your career after that. But it feels like you're heading to the end. And it really ramps up, and I got really invested in it. I was like, this is done right. This part right here feels really good.
Yeah, man, I need to dive into it. I have it. I've just been messing around with the whatever mode's trying to get control of it, but I need to get through the story mode and start playing that. Probably the only way I'm going to get better. But yeah, man, that sounds awesome.
It was such a, like, crap moment because I hated it so much, but that was what made it such a really great moment, was that it dragged that kind of emotion out of me. I was just I was furious. I was so mad.
Let me ask you, how would you feel if that really happened in a Rumble, where there was a 31st?
They did that before.
They did?
Yeah. With it was McMahon, I think.
And it was a surprise entrance?
Yeah, I think it was. Was
it when he won?
I don't think it was when he won, though, because I think that was a different one. Because he and Austin did a thing, and then that was the one that he won. But I think that was one where he actually entered before that. But I'm pretty sure there was one where they stuck a 31st entrant in there, and I think it was him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never. I haven't seen that.
I think it's old. It's old. It's a late. It's one of the, like, late '90s Rumbles, I think.
I wonder if they would do that again. That'd be funny.
They could. They definitely could. There's no question. I was a little surprised that wasn't what Triple H did a couple of years ago.
Well, wouldn't it be the? Wait a second. What's the 31st annual Royal Rumble?
Do what now?
Was this year the 31st annual Royal Rumble?
I don't think so. I don't think it's been that long.
It has been.
Has it been, really? I'll be damned.
Because every time I looked up 31st Royal Rumble, it came up like 2018. And then, yeah, it said, The road to WrestleMania began Sunday as WWE hosted the live and 31st annual Royal Rumble. This would have been the great year to have the number 31.
Yeah, right? No kidding.
Yeah. But, like most things, they dropped the ball with that one. But they had a good result. The results were good. So.
Yeah, I can't complain too much about that.
Right. Well, let's see. Okay, so we talked about Skyscraper. I did not see Westworld Season 2 trailer. How was it?
It's fine. It's not. It's basically just a quick slideshow, more or less.
Okay.
It shows a little bit of a lot, basically.
Oh,
Um,
that was one that I just forgot to check out afterwards.
yeah. It was neat. It was really basically just more of like, hey, by the way, that's coming this year,
okay.
kind of thing. Which, I mean, hey, it works for me. Whatever.
Yeah. Did you see the Castle Rock trailer?
I did not see the Castle Rock trailer. It's the only one on here I did not see.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like here is a snapshot of all of these Stephen King movies that are somehow in the same town.
Yeah, I'm interested. Like, I love the concept because it's intentionally meta, and I thought that's gonna be a little weird to pull off. But all right, if you can make it work, go for it.
Yeah. You just see all the little hints and everything else, and it looks cool. I'm totally down for it. Now this next one, Everything Sucks. I did not see the trailer for that. What's that about?
I saw it today, and I just threw it up here with it.
Okay.
It's a Netflix series that's basically a bunch of high school freshmen in '96.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the '90s answer to Stranger Things.
Oh.
Just in the sense of it's not a horror show. It's a teen drama kind of deal. But it's as much as Stranger Things is '80s, Everything Sucks is '90s.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now, and it's totally '90s.
Yeah, it's it's almost stereotypically '90s. But then you look at it and you think, well, yeah, because it was the '90s.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, that looks awesome.
It'll be interesting, and it's in two weeks, I think.
Oh shit, 2 weeks. There we go.
Yeah.
So what's the twist in it? It's like Stranger Things. Says here werewolves.
Are there werewolves in it?
Um.
I just meant that in terms of like how Stranger Things is all about '80s. This show's all about '90s.
Oh, okay.
Like it's not I didn't think it was a horror film like that.
Hold on a second. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like It looks like it's just a teen drama series.
Oh, okay. I was looking. Yeah, the article I was looking at says ways to improve Everything Sucks based on the trailer, and one of the suggestions was werewolves ?
Yeah.
So I guess someone was just suggesting add werewolves. Another suggestion was a spooky mystery possibly involving a murder. But hey, a show about kids in the '90s, I'm totally down for that.
Yeah, not everything has to be Riverdale,
Right. Yeah. No, definitely not. Okay. What about Jack Ryan, the TV show?
Yeah. I thought this was a good trailer. I liked it.
Yeah. Every time I see him, I think of Jim Halpert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's
not
fair.
Pam. What are you doing? He's buff too, man. The guy's put on some weight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at it. It's crazy watching these people who played not great-looking characters. Pick your own measurement here. But I just keep thinking of Chris Pratt. Like he was just the kind of the chunky, funny guy, and then cut to Guardians, and you go, damn. Like,
yeah, it's like they all got friends with The Rock, and it's like, all right, let's beef up. But I saw the trailer. I was like, is this Benghazi too? Like, I kept thinking, like, I've seen this before.
Well, I mean, it's all the shows like this are they look the same anymore.
Well, it was a joke. There's no Benghazi too, but yes, like that's what I was like. Wait a second, did they make a sequel to that? Because he was the guy in that movie, right?
Yeah.
I make sure I'm not confusing.
I'm pretty sure it's the same. Yeah.
And I was like, well, wait a second, is there like a sequel to that movie? But it was Jack Ryan. I was like, oh, so he's gonna be the Jack Ryan now. Yeah. But yeah, man, look cool, look great. The Super Bowl is great and it's fun, but I love the trailers. I love the stuff that they shove in there, all the funny commercials and what have you. But yeah, it's pretty good. Is there anything else we're missing for trailers or anything?
That was all of them that I could find.
Okay, cool. So let's get into some of the movie news now.
Big.
What?
You beat me to. I was gonna say, not a whole lot really interesting this week.
Yeah, you go ahead. You take the first one here.
This was insane.
Yeah.
I could not believe that they just kind of, because they just kind of dropped this on us.
Hmm. Yeah.
Completely out of nowhere. Like, oh, the Game of Thrones guys, they're gonna do their own like bunch of Star Wars movies. I,
Yeah.
uh, what?
I'm assuming they're doing this now because they just don't want things to leak anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's huge news. I mean, so and the thing is, they're getting their own series of films.
yeah.
Wow, what that means? I mean, that could mean anything from a brand new original series set in the future or the past. People were suggesting, really just hoping, that it was some maybe to do with the Old Republic.
Old Republic, baby. I
Old
will
Republic,
wave that
yeah.
flag until they make something.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, I don't care what they would do. They'd fit really well doing Old Republic just because of the grandiose of it all and
Yes.
everything. That would be beautiful, and you could kill and do whatever you want to anybody. And there's no like, there's no, anyone else making other films set in the the era that is now. You know what I mean? Like the Skywalker generation.
Right, you'd have to tiptoe around so much and
Right.
not tread on any canon or anything. You do something in the Old Republic that takes place thousands of years before
Right.
this stuff. Do whatever the hell you want.
Right, exactly. So that would be phenomenal. You can have the Sith Empire and all this other stuff involved with it. It kind of writes itself with them.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome. Kind of wishing it was a series, but
Yeah, we'll go ahead and throw this in here too.
yeah, apparently they're doing multiple series for the direct to consumer app
Yeah,
that they mentioned.
what did Iger say? We're doing not one, but a few series for our
Right.
streaming service. It's like, good
Oh yeah.
God. Oh. Well, here's the thing. It means one of these is gonna be they're doing a live action and an animated and maybe another live action
Right. Exactly.
probably. Like that's
Yeah.
the idea there being no, we're gonna do a live action one and an animated one because there's gonna be an animated one.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but what I took away from this was that there's going to be more than one live action series, which I think is just ridiculously exciting.
Same here, absolutely. I hope that we get word that it's Obi-Wan Kenobi or something like that because that would be phenomenal. We've talked about this before. Sky's the limit. You could do a whole series based on a character that just got fired working on, you know, uh, Cloud City or something. Like you could just do anything you want. The guy running with the ice cream machine. You could do anything in the Star Wars universe. Um, Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm pumped. Like this is like, hey, we're doing this. I need some real news about it though.
Yeah, like I'm happy for the announce. They did say that the deal with the series that they're closest on hasn't been finalized yet
Right.
with the whatever production company they're working with. So they can't talk about that just yet, but they did say they wanted to have something to do. They wanted to have something to announce with that very soon, I think they said.
My guess is in 2019 during the Star Wars celebration, we'll get the meat of all of that. Uh,
I think we get something during Comic-Con.
you do?
Yeah, I think we get
This year?
I think so. I think we get an announcement during Comic-Con.
Hey,
Here's
I'm all
here's
for
who we're
that.
working with and here's what it's going to be.
But do they normally? Don't they do it at their
Or
D23?
D23. Yeah, fair enough. Either way, cuz
Yeah.
it'll be Marvel big at Comic-Con. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
When do they do their? Don't they do D23 every 2 years?
Is it 2 years? I thought
Or
Celebration was every 2 years.
right? Okay, so
Oh, let me
let's see here.
see. Look it up. I think D23 is every year, but Celebration is every 2 years. D23 Expo 2018. Uh, yeah.
I see studio tours and all this other. I don't see like a.
Let me see. D23 Expo 2009, 2011. No, you're right. It's every 2 years. 13, 15, 17. So yeah, there won't be one. I mean, there'll be an
That doesn't
there'll be an Expo Japan, but that's not the same thing like we had.
see. What they should really do is they should separate the D23 to the years they don't do Star Wars Celebration, so it's not like overlapping each other.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, that's how I would do it, so that you have one big show every year. But yeah, anyway.
So then, yeah, I then in that case, I think we'll definitely get it at Comic-Con then.
Yeah. Hey, that's awesome. I'm excited for that. Sign me up, man. Yeah, that's the when I heard that news, it's just mind went wild with speculation of what it could be, and that's awesome. But yeah, so we got some other news here. Cowboy Ninja Viking, a film based on Image comic, to be directed by Michelle McLaren from Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. I've never heard of this comic. Have you?
Yeah, Cowboy Ninja Viking is based on it's some kind of secret organization that uses people with multiple personality disorder as assassins. And they're, what are they called? Triplets. And it's all three personalities within one person, and each agent has three different personalities they can use, and they start to go rogue, and so they have to send out the elite one of these, whose three personalities are a cowboy, a ninja, and a Viking, to hunt them down.
Oh wow!
Interestingly, there have been a couple passes at the script. The most recent one was written by one of the guys who does the Script Notes podcast, Craig Mazin. He did the last couple Hangover movies. He's done a couple of things since then.
This reminds me of like, oh, my mind just went blank now. Oh, Moon Knight with the different personalities.
There is kind of a bit of that there, yeah.
Or like Phantom X, where it's just different beings.
Yeah.
That's cool. I've never heard of that comic, so I might check that out. 2009 to 2010. Sounds like a good idea.
It's interesting. Yeah, God, I haven't read it in a long time. But it's a neat idea, and yeah, it's definitely in that same kind of vein. But it's a little more solidified in scope. Moon Knight's a little more broad.
Right.
Because there was the one version of him, I think, in the Ultimate Universe at least, where like he kept creating new personalities.
Right, that's what keeps happening in the main one as well.
Yeah.
Like there's one run I think Bendis did where it was like he thought he was Wolverine, then he thought he was Captain America, then he thought he was someone else, Spider-Man or something like that. So like very different personalities.
Yeah,
and it kept switching. And then in the newer series it's like it's a god from Egyptian times and the pharaoh or whatever, and then it's like a buttoned up businessman, Moon Knight. It's very different personalities, types, tropes and stuff.
Yeah, this is a little more nailed down of like, nah, these are the personalities kind of deal.
Right. But like me, myself, and Irene.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Man, what if they get Jim Carrey to do? I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude, don't even joke.
Man, you should do a Me, Myself, and Irene too.
You won't see any ads for it on Facebook. I'll guarantee you that.
Wait, why?
You didn't see? Oh, he's deleted his Facebook page. He's dumped all his Facebook stock. He's not happy with Facebook.
Oh, I didn't hear what happened. What happened? Why is he weird about Facebook now?
Because of Russia. So he says that's his whole thing of like, nope, this is Facebook's fault too. So I'm out. Bye.
Gotcha. I didn't know he had stock in Facebook.
Evidently, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to send him a message like, hey, I've got a podcast we want to get off the ground. Can you send me a little Facebook money?
Right.
I'll take it. Disseminate some real news. You know, come on, send us a little something.
Exactly. Sells it when the worst time to sell it too.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to sell stock right now? It's time to buy. But anyway, where were we before we got talking about
Men in
stock?
Black?
Yes, Men in Black.
Speaking of, oh God.
Reboot spinoff. F. Gary Gary, which is a great name.
Gray, F. Gary Gray.
Oh, Gray. Oh man, Jesus. I can't. I'm just done. So, but F. Gary Gary would be a cool title for something.
That's true. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. But F. Gary Gray, from The Fate of the Furious, straight out of Compton, and talks to direct the Men in Black reboot spinoff. Do we need another one of these?
No, but is that going to stop anybody, really?
I'd be cool if in 20 years they did it, because that would make sense. Like, hey guys, remember this thing? And like crossover with the Ghostbusters or something or whatever.
Well,
but it's too soon.
Yeah, I mean, look how long it took them on 21 Jump Street, and it paid off.
Right, exactly.
Like that's how you do it, not
crossover with it.
Yeah.
20 years.
I mean, I don't know. I think it'll work. I'm just afraid they're gonna say, hey, Will Smith's too old, but his kid is about the right age.
Well, you're absolutely right. I guess I just realized I'm getting to the age where some of these movies are just not for me.
Yeah, and I mean and here's the thing. If you want to do this for kids, I'm cool. I imagine if Men in Black came out now, I don't think we'd like it.
But yeah, and see, that's the thing is I have a hard time separating my feelings to how the population would take something.
It's tough, isn't it? It sucks.
Right. Yeah. Especially when it comes to kids or teenagers, because I have no idea I know they're into YouTube, and anytime I see stuff like this, I'm like, they don't care about Men in Black. They care about insert random YouTuber. That's what they're into.
True, but I mean, we didn't care about Men in Black either. We cared about insert random Nickelodeon star, and they didn't have any of them in Men in Black.
Well, no. Is that a good comparison? There wasn't YouTube around when we were kids.
No,
so
but
our main form was television and movies, so it was still a viable thing. Do kids even go see movies these days, except their parents taking them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You would know. I don't. I guess I don't see. The only time I see teenagers, there's 6 of them in the front row and they're talking.
For us, it's 6 of them in the back rows and they're talking. But they still go to movies.
Okay.
They still go to movies. They all went to see Jumanji. That's for damn sure.
I guess I'm just out of it when it comes to those. Like, we were talking about that one series, The Wrinkle in Time. We talked about how I have no idea how that's going to do.
No, I don't either. None of that's what we keep talking about around the theaters. Like, how is this going to do? Because it's for a weird audience. Like, it's not for, you could look at Ferdinand and say, oh yeah, that's for kids.
Right.
You get who that's for. Or you look at something, you look at The Maze Runner, and you know exactly what age group that's for. A Wrinkle in Time kind of fits between those two age groups, which is a weird demographic to shoot for.
It reminds me of A Lion, Witch, in the Wardrobe.
Yes.
And I'm just like, what? Because I watched that at an age where I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
It tried to be like Lord of the Rings, but it clearly was not.
Yeah.
But then again, I wasn't a kid, so I didn't think of it like, well, this is whimsical and fun, so... Oh, it was weird because there's other movies that do it so well, like Harry Potter, where it just doesn't matter. You can be an adult and enjoy that. You can be a kid or teenager, but it's still in that ballpark, if that makes sense.
Right. No, yeah, totally.
Yeah, where I just don't get that feeling when I see A Wrinkle in Time or stuff like this. Or if I hear of a Men in Black reboot, it's like, who's that for?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a good
You'd
point.
have to get someone really funny. Will Smith nailed that role. I don't. If you told me tomorrow that what's their faces from Jumanji, Kevin Hart and The Rock were doing a Men in Black remake, I'd be down for it. But you gotta have that star that's gonna make people laugh.
Yeah, and this is a case of where I'm just too I'm with you. I don't know who they put in this.
Kevin Hart and Jack Black, I would totally see that.
But would kids go see it though?
Right, but that's the thing.
That's exactly,
You know,
like, that's who I'm looking for. Like, who, I mean, Will Smith was for us. Like, that was totally
right,
for us. Who is today's Will Smith for kids?
right.
And
Yeah.
I don't, I just don't know. I'm happy to admit I have no idea.
Well,
But
kid stars are more, like I said, man. They're all about YouTube. YouTube, that
yeah,
is their. I don't know of any kid stars anymore. Or young people that are, that kids gravitate towards. Like, I think Kevin Hart's kind of the closest. Where if you're like a teenager, that guy's probably the funniest person on the planet to you, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Because all the other people are older. Will Ferrell's older. All these other people are much older that would kind of fit that role. Um, and I don't know. Will Smith it was weird because he was cool and he was funny.
yeah.
He
Will,
wasn't just a goofball. He was like, I
he
don't know.
he made that look good. Like, it
Yes.
just,
Yeah.
it worked. It was really, Will was a strange mix of talents that
It's like Ryan Reynolds, maybe. I don't know.
I see, but there again, I don't know. John Cena maybe.
Like John Cena. There you go.
I mean, John Cena playing the Tommy Lee Jones role, that could work.
Yeah, oh, definitely. 100% he could do Tommy Lee Jones' role. I did like how they were kind of polar opposite, and I would want that same dynamic
Yeah.
in a newer one. But yeah. We are getting a sequel to Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, being developed by Scott Rosenberg and Jeff Pinkner. Final draft of WTTJ.
Welcome to the Jungle. Yeah.
Welcome to
That's
the
sure.
Jungle. Oh,
Yeah, because
okay.
it was another one that had a couple different it had a couple different passes of the script.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And they were the last ones. They did the what became the shooting draft and the final draft and everything.
Okay.
So they're coming back to do a sequel because that thing has made mad money.
Oh yeah.
I remember talking to people at the theater and just thinking, God, poor Jumanji. It's coming out against Star Wars. It's gonna get buried.
Right.
And
I
it's
remember that.
and it's closing in on as much money.
Oh, it totally is.
Which
It's
is
almost made $1 billion.
it's insane, and I'm happy for it. It's a great movie, and
It really is.
it's another one that just said, look, this is kids get sucked into a video game.
Yeah.
This is not a serious philosophical treatise here. This is exactly what you think it's going to be, and it was. And that was the fun of it, because it was just fun.
Yeah.
And that's,
Now, here's the thing. I see that Jillian, Black, Rock, and Hart are all returning. Do you think it's going to be the same kids? Because I'll be honest, I really love seeing Jack Black being played by a teenage girl, essentially, and Kevin Hart being played by a tall guy. Like, or do you think they switch it all up?
I think they have.
different
I think they
characters?
have to switch it all up, because
That's
well, I mean, here's the thing though, because we've seen that. So
That's true.
so now it's
Absolutely
got to be
right.
different. I mean, you can only flip you have to flip different characteristics now.
Yes.
Have the Rock be the one played by who's got to be the pretentious 16-year-old beauty queen.
You're absolutely right.
Let
Have The Rock be yeah, you're right.
yeah, let the God, could you, I would love to see, put the I don't know, put the jock kind of dude in Jack Black's body.
Right.
I don't know.
Kevin Hart could play like an emo girl or something.
Oh my God, that would be perfect.
Right.
That would be, because that's what I was trying to think of. I was like, who do
Or
we
like
do?
some emo guy or girl, yeah.
Yeah, like who do we get for Kevin Hart? But yeah, it's got to be like a scene kid. Like that
Yeah.
would be fantastic. Now I don't know what to do with. I don't know who to do with Karen. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. You could have. I don't know. Maybe like a really feminine guy that's like a cheerleader and stuff like that, and suddenly he's Karen Gillian, so he's, I don't know, like that would just be an interesting.
Because that's the thing. Like, that's a fine line to walk. Like, you can do the girl in a guy's body, and the humor is funny. If you do the guy in a girl's body bit, it could get creepy real fast.
Right, yeah, I guess.
And not a funny kind of creepy either. Like I
said, what if he was feminine? What if he was if he was gay?
Yeah.
Like what kind of experience would that be for him?
Like that would be a way you could get around, all of the.
He wouldn't be like being a pervert or anything.
Exactly.
He would just be like, oh my god, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something that would be different from what we've seen. But you're right. That would definitely be a line to you'd have to walk around.
Yeah, that's the one that gets that out of, because you could do pretty much anything else with any of the other three and it would work. That's where it gets a little dicey.
Yeah, I don't know. Or you could maybe have like a bigger girl be in her, like the what's her name from Pitch Perfect?
Rebel. Oh my God, Rebel
yes.
Wilson.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't know. I don't know what you would do.
That would be interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just love the idea of Kevin Hart being like a goth kid like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like trying to move his hair around, but he doesn't have it.
But he has no. Oh my God.
Yeah. Used to moving his bangs, but he doesn't have bangs anymore.
Just sits there going.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a great idea.
I love that. Out of the four, that's the best.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they should totally add someone somehow too.
Oh, there'll be a Nick Jonas in there at some point, I'm sure.
Is that who was in the first one?
That's who was in the other one. Yeah, it was him.
Yeah. Someone else, not Nick Jonas.
No, I mean there'll be a fifth.
Yeah, but like Danny McBride or someone random in there. Oh, it's funny.
You
don't like Danny McBride, do you?
I'm all right with Danny McBride.
I think he's great. Someone comedy I would want in there is what I'm saying, I guess.
I would really love it though if the twist at the end of this is like if it is Danny McBride or something, and then everybody goes back to where they are, and they all go to meet up again, and it's these four people and Danny McBride.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like he got trapped in the game as himself. Like that's
right.
Well, I was a kid, and they were like, hey, we need people for this thing, and I was like, okay, I'm trying to be an actor, like you can use my face and stuff.
Right. Yeah, man, that'd be fantastic. But yeah. So, anyway, new Jumanji movie, that's awesome. That'll probably be like 2020 or something like that.
Probably 2021, I'd imagine, given everything The Rock's got going on right now. Probably.
That's true. Well, I mean, amount of money this made, they're going to fast track this.
Yeah, they're going to find a hole in his schedule real fast.
Yes, absolutely. Because, The Rock he's always done pretty good. There's been some duds. This one could have easily been a dud.
It could have. I was worried it was going to be a dud. I really was, and I was totally wrong.
Well, people were kind of like freaking out after Baywatch.
Well,
they were like, well, okay, that didn't work, but then this came out and knocked it out of the park, so they were like, okay, so.
And I mean, look at The Rock's track record. Like, Baywatch is a dud in the middle of, San Andreas and Fast and Furious, and now Jumanji, and I mean, he's been on a run lately.
Right.
Like some of the earlier stuff, the Tooth Fairy didn't turn out so well. Big deal. Like that's, that was then. This is now.
I didn't know how good San Andreas was. I know I didn't think it was that good, but I didn't know how good it did.
It did really well.
Oh well, then never mind then. Okay.
Yeah, San Andreas did good money.
Oh okay.
But yeah. And also the guy that actually wrote the book Jumanji and a handful of other stuff that's been adapted over the last few years, Chris Van Allsburg, has actually signed a production deal with Fox.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he's going to be involved with, I don't know what, developing other stuff that he's written or ideas that he has. Probably have some input on the next Jumanji film too.
That's awesome, because, that book was written so long ago in the 90s or whatever that I'm glad that, he's a part of it, and they're, they're going to take his ideas and stuff like that. sometimes it's not like that, where
Yeah.
it's like they're just kind of like, here's his name in the credits and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah. Based on the characters created by, and then that's it. That's all the input they've had on it.
Right, right, right. That's cool. All right, we got you take the next one here.
Yeah. So the duo that directed Black, which was like a Belgian Romeo and Juliet. It was a strange something
What?
that I'm not really sure. And I am gonna tear the crap out of these names. Adlil El Arbi and Bilal Falah. I hope I got those right. That directing team is going to direct the third Bad Boys film.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that movie. Never heard of these guys.
It's not it's one that's like, oh yeah, a bunch of people who watch like every movie ever made saw it. It's like, okay,
Oh,
cool.
okay.
That doesn't tell me a whole lot.
All
But
right.
like I haven't seen it. I know about it, all that I said. Like that's as far as I know.
Oh, yep,
But
never heard of it.
so I don't know. But apparently, they looked at this and said, hey, these guys will work, and so there you go.
Cool. All right. Tremors: A Cold Day in Hell. The sixth Tremor movie gets revealed. Images reveal characters in a science facility somewhere in the Arctic.
Yeah, I love that there's a sixth Tremors movie. I love because this series is just, if there was a series that never deserved to go anywhere, this was it. Because the first one was fun,
Oh yeah.
and then it should have died there. But they made a second one and it wasn't all that great. And then they went, well, we'll do a third one and kind of wrap everything up. And they
Hmm.
did. And so then they did a fourth one, which was a prequel, which was almost like a sci-fi original movie.
Right.
And then they did a fifth one direct to digital, and you thought, okay, well now they're just being silly. Uh,
Right.
and now they're doing a sixth one, and I'm thinking, you know what? Tremors forever. I don't care
Yeah.
anymore.
A Cold Day in Hell. That's hilarious.
I can't think of the guy's name. Guy plays Burt Gummer, Michael something. He's gonna be back. He's been in all of them. He's gonna be back in
Yeah.
this one. And he's joined by his son Jamie Kennedy. So that's a plus.
Was this the one? What was the? Oh, what science fiction movie was it where they touched the sand and they it went inside of them? Um, it might have been one of the straight to DVD Trimmer movies. I know it was one of those sci-fi movies
Yeah, it wasn't a Tremors movie,
where they were all. It reminded me of Trimmers because they were all standing on top of something,
right?
and then someone touched the sand once, and it just ate them up from the inside, like a parasect a bunch of ants and stuff went through them. I don't know,
Oh.
some dumb sci-fi movies. Just move. Never mind. Let's forget about that. But it reminded me of Tremors. I remember watching that as a kid with my brothers, and we would jump on the couch and the chairs, and parents yelled at us because you didn't want to touch the ground while we were watching it.
Yeah.
Dumb kids. So yeah, man, those are good movies.
They're fun. They're stupid, but they're fun.
Yeah. What do you think about this Detective Pikachu news?
People must really be dying for a paycheck here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Bill Knightley and Chris who?
Chris Gere. Yeah, I can't believe they got Bill Nighy to join. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't understand any of this. I have been head back. I've been playing some Pokemon recently. The Crystal, the one that was just re-released on the 3DS. Because one of my buddies, he's actually going through it too. He was playing it or whatever. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna jump into that. And man, I'm upset that it's going to be Detective Pikachu as their first film.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, if this movie's successful, do you think they even attempt to do a regular Pokemon series?
No.
Like, no?
Because if this is,
I don't know if I should root for it or not, because I thought about that. I was like, if it's terrible, it will bomb, and we won't get another Pokemon movie.
that's true. And but here's the trade-off. If it's successful, then do they do they take the risk and venture out? Or
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, or did they just do, or is it successful and they go, oh, Pokemon still works, let's do something different next time, or do they go, hey, kids really love this, we need to do Detective Pikachu too?
Right.
And studios don't take risks. So I think that's where they would go, and I don't know.
Because part of me was thinking, like, it's not what I want. I don't think I should support it. I've been very vocal about that. But the other side of me was like, well, if it fails, then we won't get a shot at another Pokemon movie for
That's true.
a long time. So I don't think I should root for it to fail anymore. I can be swayed by this, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not completely against it, but I don't know if I want it to be successful or not, because I do want an actual Pokemon movie, and I don't know what kind of message that would bring to them if it's successful or not. And
yeah, because they're not going to look at this, like, if it fails, they're not going to look at it and say, oh, this wasn't the kind of Pokemon movie people wanted. They're going to look at it and say, oh, people don't want Pokemon.
Exactly.
That's the message they're going to take from it.
Yeah.
And I will not actively root against this movie. I guess is the best that I can do for it.
Yeah.
I will withhold any real judgment until I see a trailer. Look, if the trailer looks like crap, then I will happily tear it down. But if I could even if I watch it and I even think, you know what, I understand why kids might like this, then I will step back. But
same here.
Man, I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Did you see that Nintendo confirmed it's working on a Mario movie?
Yeah, but I mean, we knew that already.
Behind the studio that did Minions. Did we already talk about that? I knew it was a rumor. It was last year that we talked about it.
Yeah, it was a couple months ago that Illumination was. It was one of those things that was pretty much all but confirmed.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what it was. Because it just recently appeared again that, like, oh yeah, we were definitely working on it. So,
and I think that's a good fit. I like that. Because we know Nintendo and Universal have a working relationship over in Japan.
Right.
Like you have Nintendo Land over there. So I'm good with that. And the quality of Illumination's actual animation is really good. So it'll work.
And it's being co-produced by Miyamoto. I think he'll have, like, Mario can do this, but he can't do this kind of saying. You know what I mean? Like,
and I definitely think people are going to look at this and go, trust me, we're not doing that again. Like, we know Mario. We got you.
I think it's either going to be an adventure with Mario, and it's very Nintendo Mario, all of the the plumber land or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it'll be totally that. I don't think it will be like the Pikachu movie where it's half CGI. It won't be like Roger Rabbit.
No, it's good because it's going to be total animation. It's just going to be. Is it? My main question is Mario going to talk?
Yeah, I think he would.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have a whole movie where he's just silent. I don't think you can do that.
Fair enough.
You'll have the ho 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 or what, all that stuff. Well, that was Mickey Mouse. I don't know what I'm doing. It's a me, that kind of stuff. But you're right. It's going to sound weird at first with him talking, but I think you'll get used to it. It's got to have the guy who does the voice of Mario, right? Like, you can't have anyone else do that.
Who even did all that?
What's his? I don't know. Voice of Mario. There's a guy who's done it for years. Charles Marnet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm terrible with names. Charles Marnet is the guy who does it. He's done it since the 64.
And do you think he'd be up for it?
Why not?
Yeah, fair enough.
He's 62, but I mean, why wouldn't he want to do? He's been the voice of Mario.
Yeah, that's true.
Since forever. They haven't used anyone else.
Yeah, he hasn't done a ton else.
I
mean, basically just anything Mario was ever in.
Yeah, I mean, everything's in the 90s, and then everything Mario's ever been. I mean, I don't think you could get anyone else to do his voice.
I
That's iconic.
I think they do. I think they change it.
Really?
I think they get somebody who's gonna try to do the
no.
voice, but it won't be him.
Oh no, this is gonna be uh, like a Solid Snake thing where you have what's his face. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
It won't sound right. Because it would just sound like me doing it. It's me, Mario. Like it's it's just gonna sound like someone interpreting
You
it.
hear that Illumination? There you go. There's your audition tape.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man.
This has been Adam of We Geek Podcast reading for the part of Mario.
Right. Like I get it. He hasn't done that much, and you need someone who can act with it. But
I mean,
I don't
he
know.
has other acting credits, but I don't. I would love for them to do it, but I don't think they will.
No.
I don't think so. I think they get somebody, and I don't even think they get a voice actor. I think they get an actor.
Oh man,
I
I
really-
don't know. He's been on 3 episodes of Nash Bridges.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're gonna drop that kind of heavy, you go. You go throw those SAG credits down there. Then all right, I see where we're at.
Right.
Oh,
right.
high roller table. All right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I hope it's him. I want it. I'm with you. I agree with you. It needs to be him. I just don't think they do.
Yeah, it's like would you have, I don't know.
Well, let me put it to you this way. Say that they're making a Pokemon movie with Pikachu in it. Who do you cast? Somebody who's familiar with all the different.
That's not fair though.
Isn't it?
Well, this is very different because Pikachu, for the most part, 99.9% of its career, has said Pikachu, and that's it.
With much more acting, though, than Mario has ever had.
Right, but it's just the word Pikachu. When you do Pikachu the Detective movie, it is completely different. It is not that Pikachu. It talks.
True.
Detective Pikachu has, like, conversations, and it says words. Besides its own name.
Well, in Mario games, all Mario has is a handful of catchphrases, and now you have a Mario who has
right,
to
but
have.
Those are phrases.
Right.
Those are real words, not just its name over
right,
over
but
and
they're
over.
Right, but they're just catchphrases, though. They're not.
Right,
they all have exactly the same inflection.
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly, and that's
It's me, Mario.
And that's it. There's not a said, it's a me, Mario. Like, there isn't that.
No, he does do that.
But,
wow! I'm sorry. But you're right. It's not that much more.
I hope this is what they do, but
I would be able to notice immediately if they changed the voice, just like they did with Ash Ketchum. When they changed that voice, it sounds so different.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right. You're right. I guess we haven't seen. That's the other thing is we've seen Pikachu in a lot of television shows and movies and everything else. Mario kind of just been video games. That's why his voice has always been okay, just being that.
Except when it was Captain Lou Albano, but that was a long time ago.
Right. Yeah, I don't think they're not going to be wanting to do that. But I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, so I don't have any other news besides that from Mario. I don't know like when it's going to come out or anything, but
no, just that it's like, yeah, we're really doing this. Okay, great. Like we knew that. But,
right. We talked about the Star Wars stuff. We're going to be getting some TV shows. Can't wait for that. And what's this new series by J.J. Abrams that HBO picked up?
Demi-monde means half world, half Earth, something like that. It's apparently about there's a family and there's a car wreck and the mom goes into a coma, and so the dad winds up in this strange it's a family of scientists and they've been doing experiments, and the dad winds up in this weird, strange alternate fantasy dimension. And their kid comes in after him, and it's basically, hey, other people can do giant Game of Thrones stuff too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We talked about this a little bit last week, right?
I
talked about it before.
Yeah, I think just that, we knew JJ was working on a new, sci-fi kind of show.
Right.
But I don't know if we knew that HBO had picked it up yet.
Oh, okay, okay. And isn't rumor he's doing the Watchmen?
No, that's Lindelof.
Lindelof. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we know
Yeah, close
Lindelof's
enough.
doing Watchmen.
Yeah. Um.
HBO's kind of becoming like where all the lost people are found again.
Yeah, for real.
Like we just need Orty and Kurtzman to show up and do something else now too.
Oh yeah. Did you also see that they were? Wow. Okay. So I googled some of this stuff, J.J. Abrams, and it says,
Oh boy.
the premium cable network confirmed on Thursday it has ordered a series of sci-fi's drama from the highly in-demand writer, director, producer that's also executive producer of Westworld
Yep.
and the upcoming drama Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, that's right. He's doing that's gonna be interesting.
So Lovecraft Country, it says here that it says they announced they're preparing an adaptation of the novel with Jordan Peele and J.J. Abrams as executive producers,
Yeah.
and Misha Green as the showrunner. That's insane. What is Lovecraft Country about? I imagine it's about Lovecraft.
If it's a book, then we should be able to look it up. But yeah, I would imagine it's probably got to do with all that lore.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's nuts. Lovecraft Country novel. Novel by Matt Ruff, exploring the conjunction between the horror fiction of H.P. Lovecraft and racism in the United States during the era of Jim Crow laws,
Oh wow.
as experienced by a black science fiction fan and his family.
Oh wow.
So basically, the exact opposite of what the Game of Thrones guys were going to be doing with Confederate.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Man, that's interesting. Man, HBO's jumping on some really good series.
They're look at
Oh
everything.
wait, I guess they're not doing that anymore, are they?
What
If they're doing Star Wars,
they haven't really said.
it sounds like they're not doing.
I
if
I
they're like,
doubt
we're
it.
going to do a whole Star Wars series. It sounds like, well, maybe we shouldn't, or maybe we should wait a few years to see where our country's at before we tackle something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're right. They haven't said that's not happening anymore or whatnot. But man, did that get some backlash?
Yeah, and deservedly so, I think.
Right, right.
A little, perhaps a little more extreme, since we don't know anything. We didn't get to know anything about it before people went nuts. But
Right.
I understand the backlash, and I'm okay with them stepping back and saying, you know what? Yeah, we didn't really read the room, so we're not
Exactly.
going to do this. I have no problem with that. If anybody's really interested in something like that, there's a movie called CSA, which is Confederate States of America, and it's basically it's kind of satire in a way. It's basically like somebody just flipping through channels. It's like you're watching the TV of somebody who's watching TV in a post
Wow.
the South won the Civil War, like with
South one.
with commercials and everything, and it's funny and it's really uncomfortable, and
Wow.
it's kind of bang on the head. Yeah, this came out a while ago, and I don't remember where I saw it, but I thought this is probably right.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah, that's that's interesting. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's called CSA.
Oh, okay.
It's it's definitely like, if you're curious of like that kind of revisionist history, in the sense of kind of taking it's a weird angle to come at it from too.
Yeah,
Like,
it sounds interesting. Someone just flipping through channels and seeing different commercials.
and saying, oh, here's what's on, and then here are the ads, and it's like, oh yeah, this is super uncomfortable.
Right. I like alternative history stuff. I like when things get weird and timesy-wimey. Like, even like a little bit of that was in the Cloverfield Paradox. Like, I kind of like that stuff, alternate universes and everything else and whatnot. But yeah, like you said, they clearly didn't read the room right, and I think going off of everyone's responses, that they might pull the reins on that just a little bit. But it sounds like, hey, they got a lot of work now. Star Wars, like, biggest franchise on the planet.
Yeah. So what were, you guys did Game of Thrones. Do you have anything else lined up? Well, we were gonna have a project about if the South won the Civil War, but that kind of fell through.
Right.
Okay. So do you want to do some Star Wars movies?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Oh yeah.
That's a conversation I want to sit in on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure, the trouble they've had with some of these directors and whatnot. I'm sure Star Wars, they just wanted to get, like, these guys know what they're doing. They just killed it with the best show on television. Let's give them something.
I will say this though, when it comes to some future Star Wars films in particular, but also the series, let's get some different perspectives in there. Let's get some female directors and some people of color writing and directing and show running. I mean, as much as I love Benioff and Weiss and I love Rian Johnson,
right.
we're kind of getting into white guy syndrome again. And
I'm surprised they haven't.
Yeah,
like
in particular with somebody like Kathleen Kennedy at the helm.
Right, everywhere else they're extremely progressive.
Yeah, and I really think, and I hope this is true. I throw this out there just as an I hope, that they're looking at the talent pool and they're saying, who we believe would do the best job for this, and it happens to land on who it happens to land on. And I hope they
have to be the two hottest people right now to pick up after Game of Thrones. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sure we will, especially with her at the helm. I have to believe we will.
I hope so, because with everything else that we've had, I think they dropped the ball with episode 9. I think that would have been a great place to say, if we're going to end this series and signal some kind of new direction for the franchise down the road, what a better time than that, or with Solo even. They need to have some more. They need to have more diversity in their directors and in their showrunners. I really want to see that in the series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Definitely a female director would have been great, especially in these with a female-led, character.
Yeah.
Like Patty Jenkins or someone like that would have been perfect for it. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see Jordan Peele tackle one.
Man, I was just thinking, because I know that he's working on the Twilight Zone reboot.
Yeah,
right?
He's a big nerd, so that's. Yeah,
I mean, let's have like an anthology series like that, but with Star Wars.
Ooh, now you're talking.
I would let put him at the forefront of that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Tales from Jabba's Palace.
Yeah.
Or Tales from the that would be cool. Like Tales from the Cantina.
Yeah.
Or Tales from Mos Eisley, where you have maybe every episode is a different character in that city, and by the end of every episode for the first season, you've seen them cross paths somehow, and it tells a bigger story. Or you could do it season by season, a different character, but man, that would be something else, and you would get a real idea of what that city is like.
Exactly. It's supposed to be this horrible, awful place. Well, let's see it.
Yeah, let's see different characters and perspectives, and it would be like The Wire, but on Tatooine.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah,
I was just thinking that.
So cool. It's every season a different point of view from that planet.
Yeah.
And that city, it all kind of revolves around that city. That would be awesome. And man, you wouldn't have to change the set at all. It'd just all be the same stuff. You could really do. Oh man, I'm getting excited thinking about that.
I like that. I think that's a really good idea.
And you could go all over the place. You can have a whole season where, I mean, there's so much in the Star Wars universe. There's even zombies at some point. You can do kind of anything. All right, where were we? Because I got so sidetracked. I'm so sorry.
Amazon's working on a couple new series.
The
one that you would think Arnold Schwarzenegger would be in is not the one he's going to be in.
Okay.
Because they're doing a Conan series.
Oh, okay. So of
Uh,
course that's the one he's going to be in, right?
it's the one he's not going to be.
Right.
It's going to be it's created for TV and written by Ryan Condal, who I think co-created Colony on USA.
Okay.
And it's going to be directed by let me do this here. Miguel Sapochnik. Sorry about that.
You did a million times better than I would.
He did Game of Thrones. He did famously he did Battle of the Bastards.
Oh, that was a good one.
So I'm down for that.
Yes.
The one that Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be in for Amazon is called Outrider, and it's a western.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm just picturing Arnold getting on a horse, going, "Giddy up."
I could totally see him in a western.
I could too. Like, that's the thing. I absolutely can picture him and the face and looking old and tired and being the retired sheriff in a town. But I just, I just, oh God! As soon as he starts talking.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Who is this for? If people are watching it, they're going to watch for Arnold, and they already know what he sounds like. So I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to be kind of like The Last Stand, but as a series.
Right. Which I'm down for.
I just seeing somebody come to town, and Sheriff Arnold looks up and goes, "Howdy, partner."
Right.
Oh God, I can't do it.
That reminds me. Do you think they could do a Blazing Saddles 2?
I think you could do that right. Yeah, I absolutely could.
I'd love to see another one. That was funny.
I think you could totally do it.
Yeah. There hasn't been any like comedy westerns.
Not in a long time.
Right. The whole scene with everyone tooting. Throw Arnold in there. How would you cast a Blazing Saddles 2?
With Kevin Hart and The Rock, probably.
It's gotta be Kevin Hart and The Rock, right?
I mean, honestly, like that's.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's not. It kind of sucks, and it's also kind of awesome that like you could just kind of stick them in anything.
You really could.
And they'd figure out how to make it work.
That would be funny. Oh, man. All right. Let's see here. We got some American God news. Jesse Alexander from Star Trek Discovery, which I need to finish, hired to showrun Season 2 of American Gods.
Yeah, because they were talking about Neil Gaiman for a while, because, he's not busy doing 12,000 things right now.
Right.
But they got Jesse Alexander, which I think is a good call. Just because Discovery, I think I've still only seen like the first 3 or 4 episodes.
Same here. Yeah.
But by all accounts, has done a fantastic job.
Yeah, it's every time we talk about it that I'm like, oh God, I need to finish that. And then a day or two later, when I'm not busy, and I'm like, oh, what show should I watch? And I have no idea, and that just doesn't pop to my head.
Yeah.
But every time we talk about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to finish that, because I'll see it every once in a while on Facebook or something, and people loved it the whole season. So yeah, and I think that's it for TV news.
Yeah, that's about all I could find.
We got some video game news here. PS Plus for February. We got Rhyme, Knack, Spelunker HD, Megan Soul. I was gonna say Megan.
I think it's Mugen Souls Z.
Mugen Souls Z.
I think, yeah.
Exile's End and Grand Kingdom for Vita.
Yeah, not a bad list this month.
Yeah, I mean, people, make fun of Knack, but it's probably a pretty good game for kids and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, this is that game of just like, hey, remember when they showed it as like it was kind of the tech demo, and it was like, and it didn't do really well, but it is a fun like, here's something you could definitely give your kids. Right,
exactly. But yeah, those are the PlayStation Plus games for February.
Yeah, available now.
Got some Red Dead Redemption 2 news. October 26th is the release date.
Yeah, because I know it was supposed to be earlier this year, and then they said it's going to be a while, and people went, boo.
Yeah. And, they've delayed it a bunch, yeah.
Yeah, but, this is definitely a game that you want to get right.
Yeah, man.
No question.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Got some Call of Duty news. This year's game rumored to be Black Ops 4 will reportedly be set current day and turn down the sci-fi feel from Infinite Warfare due to response of World War II.
Yeah, people said, hey, this kind of more grounded-ish game, we like this more.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it sounds like Treyarch at least is listening.
Yeah, exactly. So expect more like realistic weapons and whatnot, and boots on the ground.
Yeah, not so much jetpacks in space.
Right, exactly. Which is I kind of like that stuff, but I guess.
Well, I mean, here was the thing. It had to get there eventually,
right.
But by the time it got there, everybody had kind of been burned out on it.
Exactly.
Because we'd had everything else leading up to that. And then by the time we got there, it was like, okay, it's future tech, it's great, we get it already.
Right. Everything has a cycle. We will get tired of boots on the ground after a while and we'll be like, can you give us a little bit more?
Yeah. Can we get into can we have like plasma grenades?
Right.
Like.
Right. Can we get like big monsters to chase down? That'd be cool in a Call of Duty game. Kind of over zombie mode. I'd rather something else, but
you want Call of Duty Battle of Los Angeles, don't you?
Yeah.
Or exactly. Battle Los Angeles, whatever the hell that movie was called.
Oh yeah, I would like Battlefield Cloverfield. That's what I would want. A big giant ass monster. I've been playing too much Monster Hunter, man.
Be careful what you wish for.
Oh, I would love that. Oh man, a sci-fi shooter done right is the best for me.
Well, Evolve was kind of like that.
Well, you're right.
That was kind of what it went to be, and then it didn't do well, and then they completely rebuilt it practically.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, if you want like a Battlefield Monster Hunter Cross, that's kind of your best bet.
Yeah, it just wasn't. I think it was way before its time. People were not ready for that kind of game, but that kind of game is now like popular.
Well, and also it wasn't all that great. Like that didn't help.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, games like Overwatch, multiplayer only game, no story mode, does fantastically, swimmingly. The problem with that game was once you evolved once, it was game over. They can't kill you.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it was, it's. I'd love to see a game tackle that at some other point. But yeah, man. So that's the Call of Duty news. Go ahead and take the next one here.
Yeah, so Kaz is stepping down. Sony CEO Kaz Hirai will be stepping down as CEO on beginning April 1st. Mm-hmm. He will stay on as chairman. And interestingly, he is going to be succeeded by Kenichiro Yoshida, who they have kind of been the power duo at Sony for the last handful of years, decade, whatever it's been. They turn the ship around.
Right.
It's thanks to them that they've really that Sony's been turning profits again.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting to see if Yoshida can ignite the creative side of Sony like Kaz did, or if he's just going to give Kaz more, if he's going to be more the ambassador to the creative side of like, no, you stand here and you handle this, I got this. Like, I wonder how that dynamic's going to work.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah. Wait. So okay. So that's not Shu.
No.
Okay. They just have the same last name. I was confused for a second.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Did you see? Do you know the Kaz spoof Twitter?
Yes. And
he announced earlier this year he was retiring from that. Which is kind of ironic.
From the Twitter?
From the Twitter, yeah. He's like, I'm officially being done with it this year. Later this year is when I'll end it. There's no exact date, but this will be the last year I'm doing this. And it's kind of ironic.
And so the real cause looked at it and just said,
Right.
well, then what's the point? Like, I might
Right,
as well just not even be here anymore.
exactly. Exactly. I thought that was funny. But yeah, that's interesting. It'll be cool to see what happens moving forward. Sony's killing it. I think they're nailing it. It's they got their shit together finally. I'm curious about Microsoft. I love their new program where all the first party games are going to be in their program.
Yeah.
But man, they really need to start getting some first party games.
Microsoft is going to be the one to watch at E3 this year. Because because suddenly they're in a position they've never had to be in before. They're getting beat. They're getting beat. They're not in a dogfight with Sony. They're getting beat by Sony and Nintendo.
Yep.
They're in third place, and they're going to be dangerous. Like watch for them to do something. I know we talked about the Game Pass stuff last week and how this kind of seemed like their way of saying, okay, now we get how to beat the used game market.
Yeah.
Instead of the like they're. I think it's a great idea. I love going back and watching that year's E3 where they both did their announcements, just because the Sony fanboy in me really enjoys that.
Oh yeah,
because they just beat the hell out of them. But
or they show them how to use it. This is how you borrow a friend's game. God, and the thing is Microsoft. They were a lot of the things they tried to do was before the time. It was not ready to be all digital. And listen to me, I'm the guy who went all digital this generation. And that's saying something. But not everyone has. Not everyone can. Not everyone has.
Yeah.
It was done too soon. The next generation, I could totally see the next one being way more about being all digital, where they're like, by the way, cloud saves, cloud downloads, all this other stuff. We're giving you 4 terabytes of space. We want you to be all digital all the time with this. It wasn't ready for this time. And then of course the whole media stuff was just that was the main ball that was dropped, is they were focusing on that and not games.
Exactly. And that's we can say what we want about it, but people buy the Switch doesn't have a Netflix app. But people are still buying it because people still want to play video games. People buy video game consoles to play video games.
100%.
First and foremost. So that's...
Yep. And the one feature I want on that system has nothing to do with media. It's the virtual console.
Yeah.
That thing could never have a Netflix, and I'd be happy, but it's got to have that virtual console. I want those games.
I think we'll hear something at their
we will.
treehouse after E3.
E3 100%. They'll talk about virtual console, because there's a reason why it's in September or October. They're doing the online. There's going to be a multiplayer game that is going to launch with that, I have to imagine.
Yeah.
And that will be the start of their whole online service where you get the games as a monthly thing or whatever. So they're preparing for it, and that's why I can, if I talk to somebody and they're like, I don't know what to get, I tell them a PlayStation, I tell them a Switch. They sit with each other so well.
Yeah.
Because you have your console with your big AAA with your PlayStation. That's where you're going to get all of these big ass titles like God of War and stuff like that this year. Spider-Man, like you're going to get these games. And then if you want something to complement it that is weird and it has awesome first party support, awesome indie support, is the Switch. And so I can't really suggest an Xbox to somebody, and I want to be able to do that. I want, the only thing I can say to them now is, well, you have Battlegrounds, which is kind of cool on the console, and you have that game service. I think they need to buy some developers. They got to do that. That's the whole problem.
They had the article last week about, Microsoft was considering buying, like a half dozen different things. Like, well, yeah, I'm sure there's a meeting every day where they consider something like that.
And they need to jump on that. And I would not be surprised if by E3 we don't hear about them purchasing some smaller developers to E3 or for them to buy what was the studio? The one who made, boy, my mind just went blank.
Which one are you looking for, man?
EA. What other studios were there? I don't know. EA and some other ones.
Man, if I don't think
They wouldn't buy EA.
No, because here's the problem with that, because then everything becomes first party. And that's a hell of...
No, that's the problem. None of that would become first party. Half of their franchises are sports, and more than half are sports and franchises that they have deals with other companies.
Yeah.
The moment they get bought out is when those clauses go. Then they renegotiate, and no one's going to want to do that.
No, because
no one's going to want Star Wars on just the Xbox.
Exactly.
No one's going to want just Madden on the Xbox. That's insane. That's not their player base right now is PlayStation.
Yeah.
And so it would be dumb to do that. That's why I think it would be smaller studios where they could pump out a game or two, a game every year or every other year or whatever, so that they can have at least 2 or 3 first party games a year, because that's the problem, that they don't have any. They've already busted their nut with Halo and Gears of War, and then everything else kind of faded out. Nothing really came about.
Right. They don't have a Naughty Dog at Microsoft, right. And that's what they need.
Oh yeah.
And that's Absolutely. if they had that. And I don't know, because Rare. I don't know if Rare could have been that, but I think Rare could have been a lot more than it turned into.
Yeah. And the thing is we have other studios that are trying to now emulate Naughty Dog, and they're doing a great job. Media Monaco, Guerrilla, like the Santa Monica studio, Japan studio, like there's a lot of them. Like when we see those trailers, we're like, oh my god, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
And it's they need some more of those really bad, or it's.
Yeah,
I don't know, and they have the money. It's Microsoft.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
They have the money.
What's Epic? Does anybody own Epic Games?
No, they don't. I don't think.
Because that would be one that Microsoft could scoop.
That would be one, absolutely.
If that was where they wanted to go, I don't know if anybody owns Epic or not.
I don't think so.
But that would be the kind of studio that Microsoft could pick up, something like that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Platinum Games, that would scare the hell out of people.
Yeah,
they bought out Platinum Games. That would terrify everybody.
It would. They got to do something, and I hope they do, because Sony has a ton of studios. They got Ben Studio, Foster City, Guerrilla, Japan, London Studio, Media Molecule, Naughty Dog. Here's some smaller ones. Those are all for like VR stuff. San Diego Studio, they strictly does like the MLB games.
Yeah.
Santa Monica Studios doing God of War, Sucker Punch. 989 does the Twisted Metal stuff. Big Studios. Guerrilla. A lot of other smaller ones. Evolution, Drive Club, Zipper, Studio Liverpool. Yeah, so like the big ones I went over. A lot of other smaller ones, but that it's just they need at least 2 of these studios to kind of get the ball rolling, so that when it's E3 we're more it's not just Halo and Gears of War that run the ship. We need surprises and all this other we need something to come out of them.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was a mistake to do the Xbox One X. They should just be like, no, we're good to our new console. It's going to be balls to the wall, bigger and better, and it's going to be, here's all these new franchises we're going to be throwing out.
Well, I think that was the idea with the X, was to say that, because that was how they advertised it.
They limited themselves by tying themselves to the Xbox.
True.
That's the problem, is that the studios making those games now have to make it with a scope that also entails the people who bought the original Xbox.
That's true.
And the only thing they're going to get really is better frame rate and stuff like that, which is great. But when the Wii U failed, Nintendo stopped and they made the Switch. It had such a short life cycle. Right? Didn't they?
Yeah.
So that's and they're not a failure by any means. It's just in any other generation they'd be they'd be looking pretty good, but they're just getting swamped right now.
Yeah. No, that's always been the thing with the Xbox, has been it doesn't have it's always been a battle of exclusives. It's always been between Sony and Microsoft. It's always been who has the better exclusives. And right now, Sony's kicking ass. And
right.
And it really is just Forza and Halo and Gears for Microsoft, and I mean that's pretty much it. And I mean they'll have some cool stuff here and there, but I mean this year's E3 is a big moment for Microsoft. I mean I know they're gonna say, oh yeah, by the way, we're doing Halo 6.
Yeah, that's gonna be the big one.
It's not gonna come out this year. It's gonna come out next year, because there's always a year, unless they're in absolute panic mode, and I don't think they're there yet. I think maybe it wouldn't hurt if they were in a little bit of panic mode, maybe.
Right.
But they're gonna say, oh, by the way, here's a logo or like a little teaser for Halo 6. We'll have more for that for you next year. That's gonna be the big thing, and unless they really come out swinging, this is not gonna be it's gonna continue to be a bad year for Microsoft.
Yeah.
Because Sony's got all kinds of stuff in the bank.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I like the competition. I love the back and forth. There are years when I hate it, but if it wasn't for the years when Xbox was the king, undisputed, there were years where they beat Sony hands down, then we wouldn't have gotten the PS4 and everything that's come with it.
Right.
We wouldn't have gotten the price point, and we wouldn't have seen the character of some of the talking heads for Sony. We wouldn't have seen some of the personalities who are going to come out and say, you know what, let's take the gloves off here.
Yeah.
Like that's, and by the same token though, if Microsoft hits back, Sony, nobody should be complacent at the top.
Right.
And sometimes it seems like they do that. Sony's been guilty of it, and I think now Microsoft is guilty of it. I think that year where they did all the announcements, Microsoft thought, we can come out and say whatever the hell we want, and people are going to love it. And I think they got blindsided by the amount of feedback that they got. I genuinely think they didn't see that coming.
No, they didn't. And then they just the next few years they've knocked it out of the park. I mean, like this year alone, we know for sure is Spider-Man, God of War, Days Gone at some point. That maybe that one's not too sure. The Last of Us is scheduled for this year. That might be pushed.
We'll see Days Gone before we see Last of Us.
Exactly, yeah. And then we just had Shadows of Colossus that was re-released. That's pretty awesome.
I can't wait till that comes to a red box around here. I gotta grab that.
Oh yeah, and Detroit become human. Like there's some really big games that are coming out this year. And if there's nothing else announced for this year, if there's no surprises, which I don't think there will be, that alone.
It's still a hell of a lineup, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then you have all the other third-party games like Xbox has, the Red Dead Redemption and Far Cry and whatnot. But yeah, man, like and then not to mention all the other future games that we saw glimpses of, like the Final Fantasy VII and all that other stuff. So it's
just I need that.
Yeah, they've had some killer E3s. And I want to see. I want to get excited. I want them to sell me on an Xbox. But
it's a tough sell.
Especially being a PC owner, they've literally gave me no reason to buy one.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh yeah, by the way, everything's going to be on PC as well. I'm like, well
then
okay.
I might as well play it on PC. Like, why do I need an Xbox for?
Yep. Yeah. So, man, it's going to be interesting E3 for sure. Where are we at here? Yeah, so we got some Crash Bandicoot news. A new game is rumored to be in development following the reception of the Insane trilogy, and possible 2019 release.
This doesn't surprise me. Like I imagine that once they heard the reception for the announcement of the Insane trilogy, they tore a chunk of the team and said, "You guys start on a new one."
Apparently, they have ports. They're working on ports for the Insane trilogy for PC and the Switch.
Nice. It would be interesting. That would play well on the Switch.
Yeah.
That would actually play really well on the Switch.
Absolutely. And I guess from a European supplier leaked it that for the Switch at least.
Yeah.
Because they had leaked all of this like mugs and all of this merchandise stuff, and one of them was Switch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've had Crash games on the Game Boy Advance, so I mean, it's not a big surprise.
Right. It's definitely not. Yeah, it's not a Sony thing. So it's something that they have pushed and put money behind. But I'm sure it's one of those deals where like Sony gets it first, and then a year later the other companies do.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, which would be awesome because that's kind of stuff on the Switch would be perfect. Um, let's see here. We got some extra news here. Brian Michael Bendis to take over Superman in Action Comics in July.
Yeah, taking over both of them.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we wondered. We were like, well, what's Bendis going to do at DC? He's going to run Superman.
I assumed he was going to do Justice League. He'd be perfect for Justice League, but okay, Superman works.
I like the idea of just the single character.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do with a lot of characters because so many of them have. I mean, it's one thing to have like a supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't really have Superman without Lois and Jimmy and a handful of others.
Mm-hmm.
But Justice League is starring a roster. Even any of the Green Lantern comics, you've got to work with a chunk of the core. Like I think with Superman you get a chance to look at just the one character. I think this gets to be his Spider-Man of the DC universe in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that. I like that idea.
Yeah. Man, I want to know what Tom King's going to do next.
Oh, they don't know yet?
No, I don't. That's the one guy I've just been poring over. I told you about how I've been reading The Vision and all of his stuff at DC. Did we talk about that last week, or did I just imagine that? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, did I dream I had that conversation?
You had a vision.
Man, yeah, I've been having some weird stuff. My mind's just going because I've been talking to people, and I'm like, did we have this conversation, or did I dream we had this conversation? Because it feels like we did, and then like two out of the 5 times, they were like, nope, we never talked about this. I'm like, oh, okay, because I thought we have. Maybe I did in my head, but anyway, Tom King, his stuff is so goddamn good. I want to see what he does next because he's doing Batman right now. He's doing Mr. Miracle, which is fantastic stuff. I want to see him. Maybe he does Justice League. I'd love to see him do Justice League or like a Green Lantern book.
Yeah.
Because his stuff is so good. Oh, you need to go read it. You need to go read it, Logan.
Okay.
Where were we? Sorry about that.
I threw this in here because I just thought this was such weird news.
Yeah.
Like I just couldn't. This was like, remember when Kmart bought Sears?
Yeah.
And it was like, no, that's supposed to be the other way around.
Right.
Arby's bought Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's funny.
Arby's bought Buffalo Wild Wings for, I forget if it was $2 or $3 billion. It was like something, but it was either 1.9 or 2.9 billion. I can't remember. But
wow.
So yeah, and they're basically going to create like a little umbrella company to manage both brands separately. Like they're both going to be part of a company called Inspire Brands Inc.
Wow.
So it's just going to be like, we're not going to see crossovers. You're still going to just have Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings, but it was I looked at this and I thought, okay, weird. Because Arby's had kind of been on the way out, and then, the last handful of years, they've just said, screw it, we're just gonna go for it, and they've really come back.
Wow, that's crazy.
And now
I love their commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
I just thought that was nuts.
Yeah, definitely.
And I wanted to throw out a reminder, this Saturday, if you're in the Statesville area, the next installment of Statesville Comic-Con is going to be at the Civic Center on Center Street. It's this Saturday. It runs from 10 to 5. And I'm telling you what, man, they're going to have to eventually find somewhere else to book it. Cause it was.
Oh, it's getting big?
It's getting big fast.
Go get some Tom King books, man.
I'm telling you what, man. There's I know there's somebody who plays somebody on The Walking Dead that's going to be there, but I haven't watched in a couple seasons.
Oh, okay.
And it's Officer somebody. I'm sorry, it's terrible that I don't know this, but I haven't been paying any attention. But I thought, hey, that's cool, getting some people.
You going to it?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
$5. It's $5 at the door.
Nice.
I'm like, yeah, I can do $5. Hell yeah.
Nice, man. I love artwork and stuff at those things. I'm sure they have like an art section where people come in and bring all their stuff.
It's a little sporadic. It's not
Yeah.
like here's where it's not like there's not like everything in its place. But it's not a huge. It's also not a big space either, really.
Gotcha.
So it's a 30-second walk from one side to the other, pretty much.
That's the one thing I've learned going to these megacons. I keep making the same mistake. Now I get art every time I go there, but I always have such a limited amount of money to do that because I'm like doing all this other shit. Next megacon, that is what I'm focusing on. I'm going to try and save up like a good amount of money and get some really nice pieces of art and have them immediately like framed and stuff.
Nice.
Like the next day, because it's so weird and so different and all these cool different things and just people's takes on it. And like I'd like to hang that on a wall where people are like, I know what that is, but it's very different looking, or it's like a cool shape or design or whatever. Like this person, I forgot what they did. They did the X-Men characters, but it was all Egyptian. And it just looks so cool and so different.
Yeah, that does sound neat.
Yeah, because like to the naked eye, you're like, well, that's Egyptian stuff, but oh shit, no, that's Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
like it was so cool. It's
that's
so
neat.
different.
Yeah, I like that.
And that's the one thing that like I keep going back, like that's because like everyone else, I freak out. I'm like, well, who am I gonna go see? And that really adds up, and I don't think I'm gonna do that anymore. I think I'm gonna kind of focus a little bit more on the art stuff and maybe see one or two people that are very cheap to see, or just say hi to. But not the big ones because how expensive they can get.
That's cash right there.
Oh yeah. What's his name? Oh, the voice actor that I met. He was so cool. Ron.
Rob Paulson.
Rob Paulson, yeah. He was so cool because that was where we were there talking for it was a long time for a con, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't just like, hi, how are you? Cheese, sign that, bye. Like,
right.
It was an actual discussion for a minute. Yeah.
Exactly. We talked about the Ninja Turtles and he told me a story about it. And, like, it was really cool and all the different voices and stuff. And like that's the kind of stuff that I'd rather do. I want to go and talk to like the guy who does Goku and Vegeta and stuff. Because man, I've been getting into some Dragon Ball Z. Should we get into that now, let's talk about what else? What else do we have on the docket here?
Just the Cloverfield Paradox.
So, what did you think of the Cloverfield Paradox?
I hated it.
Yeah, most people on the internet did.
Because I think part of it was the expectations game, because it was standard sci-fi trope from start to finish, and that from J.J. Abrams is beyond disappointing.
Right. Well, I mean, he produced it.
It's still his name on it. I know that's not fair. I know it's not fair to hang all this on him, but
the thing is, the idea of it was awesome. The execution was terrible.
Yeah, it was as soon as you start watching it, you go, oh, this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and then by the end, this is going to happen. And it is. And my problem, I liked the idea. I liked the timey-wimey stuff.
We're going to get into spoilers, heads up.
Yeah, big time. So, but, there were two moments that needed to be explained in some way, even just a little bit. You couldn't just say, I get it. Oh, his arm disappeared and now we've found it again. Okay, fine, because alternate universes screw things up. I got that part, but suddenly the arm has a mind of its own and it's writing by itself because he's not doing it. No, I'm sorry. That needed a little something there. And then there, what the hell was the other one? And even the worms. I'd forgotten about the worms. Like, that whole little bit, everything that happened with that character, that you can't just say, oh, alternate dimensions. No, you need a little more than that.
It's like the writer left the room and someone came in and was like, "Ooh, okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna put worms in them. Then we're gonna have the arm wiggle, and then the writer comes up, hey, get out of the room here!" And then he finishes the movie.
Yeah. It's just
Like that whole section,
this.
it was like, how can we make this shit weird? It doesn't have to make any sense, but let's just make it fucking balls to the wall weird. And then it gets back to the story, and it's like, okay, here's how Paradox works and everything else.
Yeah. This was kind of the opposite problem that I had with Lost, where and let me explain that, because in Lost you had all this stuff that was set up, but they promised answers and didn't deliver. That was my problem with it. You can set stuff up that doesn't need answers and don't answer it, and I don't care. This stuff, they set it up, and it was like, oh, they set up stuff that they told you they weren't going to answer, that actually needed answers.
Right.
That was my problem with this. Was like there wasn't enough logic there. Even a tiny little bit of somebody saying, well, wait a minute, what if it's not actually his arm, but it's the arm of the me from the other universe? And that's how, but nobody said that. Nobody thought about that. Nobody mentioned it. That should have been something where they're going, well, then if that's not my arm, but I exist in another universe, well, then maybe
there's a better way to write that. There's a better way to write that. All you have to do is have the guy sleeping and someone else controlling his body and some parts of his body, his hand, his leg, and suddenly, he is not controlling his arm. The other version of him from a paradox, from an alternate universe, is, and he puts it, you see the arm doing where he needs a pin, right?
Yeah.
And so he gets a piece of paper for his arm and he writes down what the hell's going on. What's your name? And then he writes his name, and then the character figures out that his arm is in the other universe, and his body double from the other universe, his arm is now in his universe. That makes sense. They switched arms.
Yes.
So imagine yourself from an alternate universe is controlling one of your arms.
Exactly.
And you're controlling theirs. And how fucking weird would that be? That's why I'm saying the idea of this is brilliant. The execution is fucking terrible.
I completely agree.
Right. So and that's because if you really deep dive into this whole Cloverfield thing, this was brilliant. This explains almost everything. This explains that when they went up into space and they started messing around to try and get energy, just energy that can pour into and be never ending, they did exactly what that guy warned about. Now that guy has the what's his face from Gotham.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of ARG stuff, and he's been in. He was mentioned in one of the other Cloverfield movies. There's a lot of stuff that ties into each other. But essentially, the idea, right, is that they do the experiment, and something rips a hole in time and space, and universes have melded together, and that essentially these Cloverfields, these incidents with these monsters have been dropped in throughout the timeline of Earth, of many Earths, of all the Earths. So because of what this happened, all these alternate universes have been affected, and things from other alternate universes have plopped in there. So this movie kind of explains that all the movies we've seen are different timelines, which is why the next one is World War II. So whatever, it all creates different timelines, every incident, if that makes sense.
Right.
So the next movie, the incident is going to be in World War II, and that's when that Cloverfield monster will pop in, or whatever happens to that town, whatever weird thing happens to that town. All of that was great. I loved all of that stuff. They could have done that in this movie without those weird fucking with the worms and the arm, and there were cool gags. Don't get me wrong; those things are people are gonna remember the arm because that was just so weird and different. But it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
and they didn't explain it. And I get it that it's ground zero for the incident, so super weird things are gonna happen. But we're not writers. Well, I mean, you're way more of a writer than I am,
It
but
was.
we're not working in Hollywood with whatnot, and we just came up with a way better idea about how to do the arm and how to how that could have translated and made total sense. That would have blew people's minds. Like, oh my God, that guy from the other. But like, it was way too like, what happened to the ship? It exploded, right? Didn't it explode because that guy, he
Sabotaged them
sabotaged it?
2 weeks ago.
And so for some reason they're now in their ship, like
Yeah.
embedded in their walls. It just didn't make any sense.
This one girl who was on a ship that blew up and crashed into the ocean on Earth 2 weeks ago is now in the walls of this ship, which only just now showed up. And there was too much of a stretch. I get that they were like, this is gonna make everything weird, but that there are still certain parameters to weird,
Exactly.
and you can
it
only
was
go so far.
it was poor execution. And after watching the film, you get an idea of why they did it the way they did, why they dropped it on Netflix. They apparently paid like $50 million for the movie.
Yeah. And
Um,
I can understand why Paramount didn't want to put it in theaters.
yeah, it makes total sense. And that's the thing. I mean, as much as I know critics aren't supposed to be like, if it's a free movie or if it's not a free movie, but to everyday person, I think that does matter.
Yes, it absolutely matters.
It takes into consideration, and for being a Netflix film, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was good. And I think if you're into the Cloverfield series, you have to watch this to kind of understand where it like to going forward, especially what it all means and what's going on. It's one of those things you're just gonna have to put on and probably play Pokemon during or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not something I'd tell you to pay for, and it's not something I'd rush out and say see. But it's whatever. It's not the worst film I ever seen. It's just
No, and here's the thing. If that had been a trailer, and even if it said it releases on Friday, people
Right.
would not have gone out to see it. I guarantee you the numbers would not be as much as saw it on Netflix.
no. But I like the idea of this. I
Yeah.
love the idea. I want them to do this every year.
Yeah.
I want a new movie on Netflix, and it was a dud. It wasn't good, but I want Netflix to surprise people with a new movie or series or whatever once a year. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, and I love how weird. Like, that's the thing. Like the stuff with the armor and whatever, that was cool, but it just didn't fit in the movie. Like I don't know, man. I don't know how that went wrong. They had the cast was great. It was just the stuff they were given to do was just like, come on.
Yeah. I love that Chris O'Dowd was in this.
Yeah.
Because he was on 8 out of 10 Cats, for God's sake. He's on British panel shows trading barbs with Jimmy Carr, and now he's in a Cloverfield film? Like,
yeah. And I did, in the whole subplot with the guy on the ground and he found a kid, and what is that? Okay.
The whole point of that was just to tie into 10 Cloverfield Lane.
How did that tie into 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Because he knew a guy who had a shelter. Like, I really do think that looked kind of like the shelter from 10 Cloverfield Lane. I really do think that was the extent of that connection.
I mean, you're probably right. And that one took place like 2000. That took place like 4 years after the Cloverfield incident in the first movie, which is why I think this is all different timelines.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited about the next one. That's the thing is I'm not letting this this isn't making me go, okay, I'm done with the Cloverfield series.
No, because each film doesn't follow
right.
the one before it.
It's a way for them to tell a cool sci-fi story.
Yeah.
And now they have their way to do that. Like, this incident has now given them a way to do cool sci-fi movies. And one of them is not going to work. That's fine. It's okay. I like how different they are. And, I think the World War II one's going to be super interesting. Paratroopers coming into Nazi Germany and then shit is weird. Yes,
France,
sign me up.
They're going to be in France. It's
France.
It's part of Nazi-occupied France, yeah.
Right. That's, man, yes, absolutely. I thought, that's going to be cool. I don't need an answer to what the monsters are or any of that kind of shit. I don't care. Give me a good story.
That's what I'm saying. That's a question that I don't need answered. What are
No.
these things? I don't get. They're giant monsters.
Well, they
do you really want to know, like, where exactly do they come from? How do we get rid of them? They're giant monsters. I don't care about anything beyond that. I don't need an explanation beyond that.
Yeah, and they answered it in this movie by that guy saying, when you open up these dimensions, you're going to pull in everything. You're going to pull in monsters and demons from the deep, and it was all perfect the way he worded that, because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I love it if they released I loved it if they released his book as if it was a real book.
You know what was funny was I had that exact same thought. It was like, oh, I want to read this dude's book.
Yeah, and if J.J. Abrams was more involved, it would be out. Because they did that with Lost. They released a book that some guy read on the plane.
Oh, yeah, that's right, they did.
It had nothing to do with Lost except being that book. And it had mentions of Dharma and all that other stuff. So.
Well, and ABC does that kind of thing. Because I know Lost was on ABC, and then Castle, which was on ABC. Nathan Fillion's character was a writer, and they, like, the whole thing in the series was, like, every once in a while he put out a new book. ABC released those books.
Yeah. Oh,
They had somebody actually write that whole, like, the whole series of books that his character wrote.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, I'm with you. Like, I would love to read the Cloverfield Paradox, the book. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And here's the quote from him. He goes, "Smashing together multiple dimensions, shattering reality, and not just that station, everywhere. This experiment could unleash chaos with the likes of which we've never seen. Monsters, demons, beasts from the sea. And not just here and not just now. In the past, the future, and other dimensions." So, like, that's what's so cool about it, is, like, it's kind of, it's blows your mind at that idea that one event could cause just a ripple effect in not just one universe but all the universes in all different timelines. It gets very Flash and timesy-wimesy, but yeah, man, I'm totally in for the next one. And I like the idea of dropping a film. We talk about this all the time. Going up to a theater back in the day, back in the 60s and 70s or whatever, when you just went to a theater, in the 80s even, and you just looked up at the marquee and you go, okay, I'm going to want to go see that movie today. I have no idea what it's about, but the name sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Like, that's we got a glimpse of that with Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
Because no one knew anything. You could not go on Rotten Tomatoes and try and figure out what the movie was about or what people thought. You had to see the movie and come up with your own idea.
It's true.
That is so impossibly rare these days, and Netflix is the place that can do that, because we're not going to get games like that. Like, well, I guess we do. Every once in a while, Sony or whatever will just drop a game, but yeah, for movies, it's super rare.
Yeah. I tell you what, if anybody who feels burned by the Cloverfield Paradox wants to see a slightly better timey-wimey sci-fi movie on Netflix, watch Ark.
Ark.
ARK. It's a very contained time travel movie, and it's like Groundhog Day with a purpose.
Oh, okay.
And it's way more sci-fi. Like, there's a scientific explanation for why this day is on loop, and it's interesting. I kind of liked it.
It's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. ARQ?
Yes, that's it.
ARQ. There we go. Okay. A Netflix original. You said it was a movie or a TV show?
Movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's like an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's like,
right.
That was kind of fun.
Okay, add it to the list.
There you go.
There we go. I want more movies like that. That Tom Cruise movie, Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah. Well, they're making a sequel.
That was so good. That's right.
You didn't watch Happy Death Day though, did you?
Happy Death Day. No, I didn't. That was the horror movie.
That's like a horror version of that.
Is that on Netflix?
It's not on Netflix. It's out digitally though. I'm sure. I don't know. Is it on the Redbox digital rental service? Because they do that now too.
That's true. I'd probably get on Sony or something. I'm sure it's there.
I'm just wondering if
it's like $3.
Yeah. I'd just be wondering, like, is it $1 through Redbox? Because I don't know. I've never checked their digital service.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Let's see here.
Yeah, take a look.
Rent on demand $4.99.
Yeah. So same price basically. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a Redbox app on the PlayStation though. Maybe there is.
I don't know what it's. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Probably not.
I usually do I don't know. They have a bunch of different rental apps that you can use,
They've
or
got,
just straight from Sony
yeah, you can do it from Sony.
or Amazon. I'm sure it's on
Amazon. Voodoo, I think,
Voodoo.
is like the catch-all for everything. Yeah.
Right. It might be on Amazon. A rental for $5.99. Jesus, more expensive there.
God, how about that?
Maybe it's cheaper with Prime. I don't know. I have Prime, but man, I'm looking at my cart right now, and it has Dragon Ball Z Complete Series 1 through 9. So that's a deep dive. I don't know if we have time to talk about that or not. Maybe wait till next week. I don't know, but
let's wait and do that next week. We'll put that. That'll be our big thing for next week.
That'll be our big thing for next week. Now, well, let me ask you real fast. Are you interested in watching Dragon Ball Z again?
I'd do it if it was Kai.
Kai?
Because Kai cuts out all the filler.
I've never seen Kai. I know it's like... Hold on. I shouldn't say I know, because I did write it down. 291 episodes for DBZ, 167 for Kai.
Yeah, Kai is a streamlined DBZ.
Yeah. The problem is Kai you can't stream.
It's not up anywhere, really?
Dragon Ball Z is on Funimation,
but
they
Kai...
have a free service where a free trial for like 2 weeks that I was going to watch, but it's Dragon Ball Z. Kai is not part of it because it wasn't done by Funimation.
Yeah.
Let me see
it's got to be on something. It's on is it on Hulu maybe?
Maybe. Dragon Ball Z Kai. I keep seeing Funimation.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it here.
No.
Huh.
Dragon Ball Kai it's not on Hulu?
No. No, doesn't look like it. They've got Dragon Ball, but they don't have
currently unavailable. I think it used to be on Hulu.
Ah, bummer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have Dragon Ball, but not Dragon Ball Kai. Yeah. I might get that from Amazon. I just, if I wanted to own them, I kind of wanted the whole thing. But yeah. Ooh. But
that's a bummer that Kai isn't on anywhere.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, that should be on. I think it's on Crunchyroll, but it's Japanese. Oh wait, is it on Amazon?
I think it's on. Is it on? It might. I don't think it's on Prime to stream, but it might be on. I think they have the seasons. But how far does it go?
Yeah, no, it's.
It stops at Cell. It looks like. Bummer.
What stops itself for what?
For Kai, they've got the first 3 seasons of Kai available on Amazon, but it's only runs through
stream.
To rent. Yeah, it's not. Rent. Yeah, it's not on Prime Video.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't look like Kai streams anywhere. That's a bummer.
Yeah, it really is. Maybe it's because of the deal that they went back to Funimation.
I don't know. Maybe.
Everything I do is saying the only place is to rent it.
Yeah.
From Amazon Video. It must have been whatever deal they had, and now that Funimation is doing Super again, I think that's why.
It went back. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I see. I'm torn because I kind of want to buy Z, but you're right. Kai would probably be a better thing to purchase.
Well, they've cut out, the difference is they've cut out all the filler. Like it doesn't take 14 episodes to charge a spirit bomb anymore.
Well, there are some differences. I asked one of the groups we're in, someone sell me on it, and they said Kai cuts out a lot of filler. It cuts out the one of the smaller sagas that doesn't matter. A lot
Yeah.
of the stuff that wasn't in the manga that was in the show they cut out. It was recasted for some of the voice actors, and it was redone. The script and everything else.
Well,
Um,
because I mean, look at some of the old. Well, because the thing is, with any anime, they get the script like they have to translate that script fast, and
that's the thing.
that's why you get a lot of issues
When it was
sometimes.
originally done, they said the guy who played Goku had no idea this would be any good, did not think anything of it, gave just a bland performance. The stuff they just read, they were given a script, just read it. But when they did Kai, it was way after Dragon Ball Z became the phenomenon it was.
Yeah.
It was years later where the voice actors had way more experience. They knew what was going to happen. They knew what kind of inflection. They knew the scenes that were happening and everything else. And they apparently it's a much better performance, better script,
Yeah.
um, and better animation. They
I
cleaned
was
up a
gonna
lot
say
of the
yeah. Plus the
animation.
animation is way better.
Yes, yeah. So I am torn. Um, like that one song. But yeah.
Oh
Anyway.
God. Uh,
What's her name? Natalie Imbruglia or something.
yeah, that's it.
But anyway.
I
Yeah.
love
So I'll.
my favorite story about that. Real quick, there was an old episode of Talking Tunes back when it was a podcast before it was on Alpha,
Yeah.
which if anybody doesn't have, you should look into, because they do a lot of Nerdist does a lot of their video content and a lot of premium stuff through Alpha, and
Hmm.
it's definitely worth looking into. Uh, but he had, and I think he was at the Improv where he recorded some of the live episodes, and he had a handful of people from different anime,
Hmm.
and one of them was somebody from Fairy Tail, and one of them was the guy who does Goku, and whose name I can't remember, Sean something, and I'm blanking.
Yeah.
But he asked him, he was like, "Did you know what this was going to be?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "They had me come in and read this, and I didn't really, I wasn't really great on my audition. I thought I did a really strong Captain Ginyu audition." And like, and you could hear the parts of the crowd who knew, like, really
Right.
started laughing.
Right.
But because he was like so proud of that, and he's like, of course, now I look back and I was like, oh yeah, that's actually a pretty lame character. But
Right.
it's like at the time, I didn't know. And
Right.
then he was talking to the dude who did Fairy Tale, and he was like, yeah, we just did like our 150th episode or whatever, and Sean said, yeah, I've been doing this 20 years, but not important.
Right. Right.
But it was fun, and that's up on iTunes and stuff. The old Talking Tune stuff. If you
Oh
go
yeah.
and search for that, listen to that one because that one's really funny.
I want to see that for sure.
But that was great. But yeah, I imagine God because I haven't. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Like you go back now and you get a chance to redo all of those
And
performances. God, that's
here's the thing, and but now I'm double guessing it because the seasons 1 through 9 of the Dragon Ball Z Blu-ray came out last year
yeah.
for Dragon Ball Z. Kai came out 2012. So I'm wondering if they did all of the anime. I'm wondering if Dragon Ball Z, the Blu-ray set, has the animation up to date like they did with Kai. I
I
wonder if they did recast the voice.
I doubt it. I think the stuff for
Hmm.
DBZ is probably like they just cleaned it up. Kai looks like they reanimated it practically. Like
Yeah,
that's how good Kai looks. I
yeah.
I doubt they did that for the
Or
DBZ
no,
Blu-ray. Like I'm
yeah.
sure it looks better. There's no doubt in my mind. But
Yeah, a lot of the reviews are saying the HD it looks apart, just amazing and blah blah blah. But it's hard. It's just one of those things where like I'm just not gonna get a direct answer
yeah,
because
that's
everyone I
true.
asked just gave me a million different directions. They were like, well, you should get Z because it's pure to your childhood, blah blah blah. And then
Eh.
the Kai was what you were talking about, how like just the animation looks good. And what's really selling me on Kai is the them redubbing it
Yeah.
and putting in a real performance where they're like, now we know what this is, and now we know how to act, and now we know how to really give a great performance. That's gonna sell me on it. So yeah, maybe I kind of want to. I kind of want to get Kai. Oh man, but we'll talk about that next week. I'll let you know exactly what I decide to do. But yeah, we'll go from there. So make sure you go to our Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. Make sure you go and subscribe to us on iTunes, and give us a review, and whatever podcast service that you have. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel, We Geek Podcast. We put up the episodes every week now, and our Facebook group. And shoot us an email at wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll be back next week, and we'll continue with the saga of Dragon Ball and see where we're at and what we're doing with it, because I am just head on full diving in mode right now, because I really I just want to kind of go through it, just because it has such a renaissance right now with me. So
That's fair. But
yep.
we'll see. We'll see which one Adam picks next time on We Geek Podcast.
Perfect, Captain.
Captain.